Cornucopias is a cutting-edge open-world MMO set in a world where humanity has ascended from the Earth's surface and created a breathtaking new world in the sky. This fantastical realm is a system of floating islands carved from the land we once called home, now encased in radically advanced dome-shaped structures suspended high above the clouds. Each one is a futuristic marvel with its own unique environment, identity, and thriving communities. It is within these domes the epic journey begins. Here, players take control of their own personal avatar, which gives them the freedom to choose their destiny. Be immersed in vast landscapes, explore vibrant settlements, and engage in a myriad of activities such as crafting, commerce, combat, racing, and more. Welcome to a world where the sky is no longer the limit.
Hey everybody, welcome to COPICafe. This is episode 125. Rob Gregg here and Josh Jones. We're glad to be with you and share with you what's going on with Cornucopias. What are we building? How are things going this week? Lots of fun stuff to talk about. In this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about nodes, the current build and progress around that, some customer onboarding processes and welcoming experience that we can provide. And then, of course, we've got a special guest with some very, very leaky type of things. So fun episode ahead. Rob, before we get too far along, what are you drinking today, sir?
Oh, I'm nearly finished actually.
Yeah, no, we talked
I have strawberry flavored milk from Marks and Spencer's. I've treated myself. It was only £1. It's very, very nice.
Sounds
what
good. Sounds tasty. I'm drinking an old favorite. However, the flavor's not a favorite, but you will recall the brand name.
Oh, yeah?
Guess?
Is it? I forgot.
Waterloo.
Oh, yeah. Damn.
Not big on this particular flavor, but it's a Waterloo.
Oh, the blue one.
Okay.
I had a Waterloo once when I was in America.
Yes, you did. I recall that.
Yeah. I didn't like it.
We had some at the conference, I believe.
Yeah.
In the cooler. By the way, if you recognize this hat, I had a chat with the founder today. Went pretty well. It's always good to catch up with him. Building good builders. If you recognize this hat, add it into the comments and be sure to like and subscribe. It helps us to get more people aware of what we're building here.
Did you call him out the blue or did you book him in?
We've been chatting for about a week or two, and we finally got to connect. He's busy, as are many other builders in the space. I'm busy. It's hard to connect. Was that a joke of some sort?
Yeah, I hope it's the right brand I'm thinking
of. Okay. So, if you can guess this, throw it in the comments. Let's talk about nodes real quick. So we've got some feedback from the community on the nodes dashboard, which is now live. I think maybe some people are a little worried about the strength and how do they optimize and things like that. Just so you know, currently the rewards are still 100% split even across if you've got an active and registered node. That's it. In the future, we will gradually move towards incentivizing performance. So let's say the rewards are 100% split evenly right now. In the future, maybe the first move would be, okay, 10% of the rewards are going to go according to how performant those nodes were, and then 90% is still evenly split. It'll gradually move, so you guys have time to adjust, maximize, increase the performance of your node, etc. And then currently, the incentives will increase. The criteria will also increase. So what do we need? And the point is, like, what do we need to have a sufficient node service for the end user, for the newcomer? Obviously, that's incredibly important. So we're going to gradually phase into that, and you guys will have time to make adjustments and tweak and increase the performance, etc. So that's kind of where we're at with the nodes dashboard. And thank you guys for your feedback. We're always keeping an eye on it. Anything you'd add to that, Rob?
Greg is looking at the formula for that strength. We think it's a little bit too far one way. So we are definitely reviewing it this week.
Okay, cool. So we'll look at the formula. There's just lots of iterations needed, but you guys have to keep in mind the end goal is really good quality service, not sketchy service, not horrible service, but we want to provide an excellent service for our newcomers that are coming in, because it takes a lot to get someone's attention and get them to click download and download your game. The last thing you want is for them to, for that kind of attrition to occur where they couldn't get the game downloaded because they got 16 gigs in and there was some sort of stall or whatever. So obviously performance is huge. Okay. The next step that we'll chat about before we get our special guest on is customer onboarding experience, because this is kind of tied to what we were just discussing with the nodes. You know, I've been thinking a lot about it. We've been getting a good number of people just signing up and paying the $10 or whatever from the website to play. And that's, you know, not a huge number, but considering we haven't done any marketing, we don't have a paid funnel set up for that or anything like that right now. That's just coming in organically, either through crypto community, through word of mouth, or through SEO and web, whatever it is, it's organic right now. And I was thinking about that over the weekend. So I started thinking about what's the experience that we want that new user to have, that new person to have. And right now we're far from the mark on where I'd like to be. And why do I say that? Well, if I'm a new person, I click to download the game and then I download the game. I have no clue what I can go do once I get in there. Okay, I can figure out that I can build an avatar and customize my avatar. But then once I go, so I don't know how to get to the racetrack. I don't know how to get to the pavilion. I don't know how to get a jetpack to fly around with. I don't know many of these things. And what are the fun things to do with arrow trails, right? So like to do arrow trails, you need to have a jetpack. Well, we need to improve that onboarding experience where somebody can quickly understand what it is they need to do and give a really positive experience. We also need to learn more about who they are and where they came from, to your point earlier. But you know, the brand that we're building is AAA quality. We want people to have an amazing experience. I like to think of it like this, like a 5-star hotel. They think about every single, not that I've been able to stay in a lot of those in the past, but like the notion of a luxury type brand is they think of the experience from start to finish that somebody goes through, and trying to do every little detail to make that a better experience for the user. And that's the kind of thing that I'm thinking through right now, so that we can, when one of those people comes in from wherever they came from with a organic search or a word of mouth, they actually have a welcoming type of experience. And I think, final point to this, and then I want to hear your feedback. I think one of the coolest things that we could do is empower the community, our community, you guys that are following us in some way with that onboarding process. And I have a good amount of ideas around that as well. But nothing specific released there yet, but we've got some ideas, and we really just want to improve the welcoming of someone new to our ecosystem and to our game. Thoughts?
Yeah, a couple of thoughts. First of all is why would people pay the $10 as opposed to getting an NFT, which some of them are around about that price. So obviously we need to understand, are those Web 2 people? Do they not know crypto? So it's all those kind of things, because it was surprising me the numbers. But are they friends of people with? I don't know, but yeah, definitely we need to understand that a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of, when you come into the game, there's lots to explore, lots to see, lots actually to do. But this is also a challenge of creating a pre-alpha version. You know, in the future when we have quests and we have everything buttoned up and we have NPCs, these kind of that's how you're introduced to games. You go into a game, and the first thing some games do is teach you the controls, and then they give you a mission, go here, and then the game slowly unfolds as you learn more and more about the mechanics. We don't have any of that at the moment. In fact, sometimes we just drop you in the middle of nowhere. Like when you go to Solace, you can do a shortcut. You end up in the middle of a Solace town. It's like, where am I? I don't even know where. We do understand that it doesn't make sense to how the final game will be, but we're not at that stage yet. So yeah, we have to kind of figure all that out somehow of doing that. And really, that's where the community help as people come in, and people do say, "Oh, are you new? Do you want a tour?" or where am I? What am I supposed to do? And so the community in Discord is really, really helping. So I would definitely encourage people. If you invite your friends in, just get them to come and say hello, and there's always somebody playing, so they'll come and help you.
Yeah,
It is a challenge.
Absolutely. Completely agree. Bringing friends in with you, connecting them to community right away. That's a great way to do it. I love the social aspect of the group of people we have that are connected in our Discord community that get together and play and do stuff together. That's really
That's
cool.
one of the key pillars of an MMO. You don't just play around so you can see other things running around that are not NPCs. You have a much richer experience when you're playing with other people.
Yeah, the social aspect of it, and that's
like going
like
to
a
the
huge
gym. Going
percentage
into
of
the gym on
gamers.
your own, you get going to the gym on your own. I mean, it's not the same as if somebody's there motivating you. It pushes you that extra mile. And
if you're in one of those group classes, you're going to get a much better workout sometimes. Yeah, it's a little more motivating, but depends on how you like to lift as well.
You can always play the single experience, but I found when I'm in the game with a bunch of players, it's amazing. It's a much better experience.
Yeah, completely agree.
Rumble Ball is not very good on your own.
What's that? Rumble
Ball is not very good on your own. It's better.
This is quite true. It's quite true. Well, I think that wraps it up. What you and I wanted to cover. We can go ahead and get our special guest up, let's do that. Well, David, welcome to COPICafe, episode 125. Good to have you again.
Long time no see. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are you drinking today?
Same as last time.
Hold on, you have a Stanley.
I do the Stanley still, and I still have some cold coffee over here. I've really got to, since I'm on this often. Is it
the same one from last week? Have you not set your cup out?
Yeah, it's the same one from last week. I'm feeling a bit ill, but I'm going to work my way through it.
It's a slow nurture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fresh cup every morning. So,
yeah. Gotta have it, dude. Gotta have
slowly it. Turning into green tea.
Ooh, something.
Ooh, sludgy coffee.
Yeah.
Well, catch us up on the current build. I know a build came out yesterday. I haven't had a chance to get into it, download it yet, but I did see some of the feedback on it. Always some buggy type things to work through. But why don't you give us a detailed rundown of the current build, how that's going?
Internal build.
So
internal, yes.
We had about as many bugs as we expected would happen. So when you're bringing in a combat system, and that's multiplayer, it's replicated. There's a lot of things that QA has to check. So QA is in full testing right now on the combat, and it's a lot of people don't know. There's like a lot of smoke and mirrors when it comes to this stuff when you're making a multiplayer game, because essentially everyone's playing in their own world, and only the things that need to happen on server are happening on server. So you're constructing an illusion, but we have to have QA check. It's not good enough to say, hey, go in, make sure the guns fire okay, make sure they hit the targets. No, they need to check and see when they're looking at somebody else playing in the world, if their gun's firing when it's supposed to be firing. And sometimes we end up with weird problems where when you fire your gun, somebody else's gun's firing. So the multiplayer stuff it can give us a lot of headaches. Sometimes we have issues when somebody comes in, the last person in the server or the first person in the server, they're doing something different than the others. So there's a lot of little QA teams are really good. They've got a lot of points to cover, and we get feedback, and then new builds come out. We got another one coming out tomorrow with a lot of fixes for the current bugs. next week, we're going to start going through later next week, getting QA going on the new avatar system. So most everything should be complete by then. And then that means that we're getting very close to the actual release. So very, very excited for this one. But I think it's going well. It's as buggy as expected.
Sure.
So,
but knocking through them, this is, as always, expected. This is the phase where we encounter all the bugs created by all the new systems that are being added, etc. It's been the regular in-game building, game development. Out of curiosity, with a new avatar system, do you expect a good amount of bugs? I mean, because we've got the new features provided by UE 5.5. So
yeah,
character movement system, stuff like that.
I don't think we're going to experience as much as what we did before. A lot of the basis of it's in the system is the same. Like we're not changing the actual system at its core. We're really changing a lot of visual stuff and what you could do based on that core system. So I don't expect as much pain as there was before with like Avatar 2.0, but I do expect a lot better quality and better looking, more awesome avatars. I'm sure someone saw the leak of the way the muscle looks like at the full muscle morph. We could probably put that up on screen, but that was up on Twitter.
That guy was jacked.
Totally jacked. So you'll be able to really do what you want. There's some extra definition sliders, so if you want to look toned but not be super buff. So there's a couple of things like that, and some things that we're removing that are just kind of lower value. So I'm excited about it. So, and I get excited every time to see the presets because they're redone on a new generation of the avatar system. So it's like Penny. You've seen Penny evolve over time to being a higher quality Penny. So it's a very good judge of the
She's
system.
worth $1 now.
Yeah, this is Penny going on $1. This has been good. Like this is Avatar 3.0 that's coming out.
3.0, so we call it. I mean, it's technically like Avatar 720 on the dev side, but it's
in terms of what the public's seen. Yeah, it's good stuff. I'm excited. Very, very excited about it. Well, I think that gets us to the point of our questions. We can do questions and then end with a leak. Unless you had anything else there, Rob, around the build.
The leak is fun.
Nope.
Okay,
It's all good.
The leak is fun. Okay. So, question for you. This is from Corny B of the Knights. We've seen an extensive amount of content related to character movements after the upgrade to the latest Unreal Engine. What, if anything, will change as it relates to vehicles and racing? Will those aspects see visual improvements as well?
So we're talking about character movement and racing. I mean, you don't really see your avatar during racing. Maybe somebody's talking about if you're riding on a javelin or something like that. Some of those things will translate. Some of those things will still need work. The biggest improvements that you see is on the actual motion of running around with an avatar, running around, jumping around, that kind of thing. We did have some issues with motion matching when it comes to like mantling. There's certain areas it doesn't like certain types of collisions. So I don't think motion matching was tested at a full scale, like a lot of things that come out.
By Epic, you mean?
Yeah, it's almost like it was designed to be in a cubicle world full of cubes, like maybe like Minecraft, but we're working on it to disable it on certain things and enable it on others so that it's more of a seamless experience. But overall, the avatar looks better, it feels better, just everything's way more fluid. Combat feels actually very, very fluid. I'm very impressed with the way that feels because that's all relating to the same system. So yeah, hopefully that answers the question.
Very good. Alrighty. So this one's from Black Knight. In the future, when water is active, will we be able to swim or dive?
The first thing you'll be able to do is swim on the surface. And then in the future, once we get to it, maybe you can dive. But, when I look at diving, that's probably kind of a low value thing right now. You've got to have some loop or some reason to actually dive. Maybe there's treasure or loot or something like that down there. So you'll probably swim across the water first before you're allowed to dive. So
Yeah, that's a good call.
And will,
All right.
that'll play in, will it, with the health system? Can you drown?
sure. If you
Oxygen
dive,
deprivation.
I definitely want to see some people drown. So
You
I've
want
been
to see
waiting
that?
to see
Okay.
community members die for a long time, and that's coming very, very soon. Is dealing with your health in games. So yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. The dark side of David.
You know, eventually you watch somebody jump off.
Hey, there's
and
got to be
it's
stakes.
weird.
It gets more exciting with
Yeah,
stakes.
yeah.
There's no doubt. Okay. This is from Braz of the Knights. Skill development and minigame question. I would say this is more like a list of questions.
Okay.
A
So
long question.
yeah, it's a long one. So prepare yourself. Could you provide more details about the minigames involved in resource gathering and the economic model behind them? I'm curious how players will experience collecting resources and how specialization will be rewarded. For example, if I need tin ore or wood, will I need to repeat the same minigame 10 times, or are there mechanics to gather in bulk as players advance? I'm going to pause there, let you.
That's the entire economic model. So that's, I don't know if we're going to go into all of that. That's something that's constantly in change, and it's something that's going to change as it becomes available to more people, because then we find issues, we find exploits or things that aren't quite that fun. I think what they're really trying to ask is how grindy are things going to be. I mean, there will be some grind. We're trying to say, let's look at it this way. Let's say mining in your typical MMO. It's very, very boring, right? They don't make anything exciting. It's like, oh, there's an ore rock. I'm going to press a button. I'm beating on it. I get the stuff. And that's when things, I think, becomes a little bit of grind. I say make the ore yields that you get out of ore veins to be much more profitable from the start, but make it more difficult to get to them. When you go into a mine, there's pitfalls, there's rock that can fall on you, there's danger. As you go deeper down in the mine, you're going to get more rare stuff, more rare ore veins as you're going down, and the danger increases even higher. So you're not just going, finding a thing, mining a thing. You're having to survive and take risks to get to that, and that's what gets the dopamine going in the brain.
Yeah,
And
that's what's fun. If you click a button and you have everything immediately right away, that's incredibly boring. I mean, like
it becomes grindy.
So,
and you can lose your stuff.
The more modern games I've played, mining is it's all on the surface. You might as well just be gathering. You chop a tree and the ore's next to you, and then there's a bit of copper next to it, and it's
very.
We will have mines in the true sense of the word. We're completely different experience. You'll have your mining outfit. There'll be dark areas, like you say. You maybe some areas of claustrophobia. It'll be brilliant.
You might have to platform and kind of jump over an area to get to a part of a mine that has something that you want. Once you get everything you want, you filled up your big XL backpack. You still got to survive on the way out. We're not necessarily going to say, mini games do this. You go through a mine or a cave, and then at the very end is a trap door exit right to the entrance, and it's just like, thanks for going through. It almost feels like an amusement park ride or something like that. We're not going to do that. You're going to have to go back through the mine. These are going to be like real mines and real caves. So
at the very end of the tunnel, there needs to be a golden statue of a head that you have to take a sandbag and properly weight the sandbag, because if it's not the exact same weight, it's going to shift.
That's a good idea. I think we should work on that.
I was thinking of something maybe similar.
Name that movie. Sorry, go ahead.
It would be really nice to get in kind of like a mine cart, and then maybe you could run away. Maybe some baddies could be chasing you alongside you.
You just added 6 months of development time to mine.
Maybe we should have whips. I don't know. We might be going off on a tangent.
Oh, whips! There's another clue for the movie. Okay, so that's a good answer, David. Let me give you the rest of the question, which is another couple of paragraphs. To prepare yourself. I'm particularly interested in how skill progression will work with resource gathering. Will players gain mining, logging, farming levels that unlock higher resource quantities, or access to level restricted gathering sites with rarer materials? Many successful MMO RPGs like RuneScape implement systems where considerable time investment in a gathering skill rewards specialists with access to valuable rare materials that others can't obtain.
Yeah. So I think I covered this in a previous COPICafe. Everything's set up as sort of specializations. We don't lock you. You're not locked to a class where only your class can do a certain thing. You can go any direction you want, but you're gonna have to spend a lot of time on each specialization. And in crafting, you have a UI layout that has a few ingredients that you can put in from the beginning. And that's on like a tier 1. You've got yourself a tier 1 bench, crafting bench, which can even fit in an apartment, by the way. And you can work on things there, and you have very basic recipes that you can put together. Once you do more of that and you produce what you're supposed to for that, and also, just do a lot of crafting, you're going to level up in that specialization, and you're going to unlock the ability to operate larger crafting benches. So a tier 2, it's more like a big corner of a shop. It's got multiple benches. And then at that point, you're going to have more things of this molecular layout that you can drag ingredients into to craft more things. Some things will take time to craft too. It's not going to be like instant crafting. Some things will be blind as well. You can also earn blueprints for things or find them in the world. But you work on that, and it opens you up to make even more complex things. And it gets a little bit more difficult too as you go on, because there's more ingredients that have to go into things. But you also reduce in failure rate, and you get many other perks as you go along the way. So it's super gamified, but in a way, it's kind of like it's a little bit like real life in a way, all the way up to the point that you've got access to factories, or you can build factories, and they're just absolute automated machines that allow you to make a lot of profit, but it's going to take you a lot of time to get to that point, just like it would in real life.
Well, very good. So that's the end of our questions. And thank you for the thorough question, Braz, of the Knights, and for the others, Black Knight and Corny B. Let's move on to the leak. I'm sure everyone's excited to see that. David, do you want to pop that up?
What is that?
That is sick looking. I've got to say that.
Is this one of the bugs you've been having?
Yeah, this is some of the bugs that we're dealing with the combat here. Some of the bugs we deal with are this mean though. So,
is that organic matter on the back there?
Yeah. So this is definitely a machine that's designed, and you've got armor, you've got a sort of a quantum material that is made of kind of some unknown elements. And these are just one of the examples of something that's going to come through a rift that you're going to have to deal with. And I will tell you, this thing is quite big. A normal size avatar, if you're looking at it, your eye level comes up to that pulse laser weapon that's on the front there. So these things are pretty big.
It's about 15 foot high.
Yeah, maybe so, a little bit less. Yeah,
that thing on the front, I presume that's some kind of a shield, and maybe the bit at the back is where you're attacking.
This will charge up. You'll see it kind of glow and charge, and it's going to fire a really powerful pulse bolt, and you don't want to be on the you don't want to be in the way when that happens. So
this is So the way I understand rifts is that creatures coming through and then they kind of change. So this is not a natural thing, is it? This has been sent through that rift. Is that right?
It's been sent through the rift by someone, which we will not talk about.
Who has controls of this rift? Are these rifts not natural occurrences then? So many questions.
Yeah, they're definitely not natural. And some parts of them kind of look natural. You'll always see kind of a mix of like this hard surface engineered and organic with this sort of thing. But this is definitely an enemy you have to fight. Let me tell you also what's going into this is you actually have different attachments that are on here. So when you fight enemies like this, they're going to have certain weak points. They're going to have different damage zones. And as they take damage, parts are going to fly off. And eventually, if you saw what this thing looks like once all the pieces come off, it's pretty absurd looking. It's like this little just fleshy pod with, little sticks of legs that are left, but players can spend time whittling this thing down until it's absolutely destroyed. So
Is it like the inside of a Dalek?
inside of a what?
A
A
garlic.
Dalek, Doctor Who Daleks. Have you seen them? What the actual Dalek looks like?
I've not seen a Doctor Who, so
Oh,
unfortunately,
okay.
ever.
Did you
But
say
now I'll
garlic?
have to look it up.
Dalek.
Dalek.
Dalek?
No, I'm not familiar. Okay. It's pretty awesome. So are we at the phase of working on animations for that, or where are we?
Yeah. So we actually have like a playground level where the basics of this stuff is being tested, but things are walking around, things are targeting things, and things are scary. So
will you be able to shoot the legs off and it'll fall over, or are those
legs
not-
will probably be one of the last things to go because
yeah.
once you lose a leg, it's kind of loses the combat effectiveness. There's certainly going to be an order of how certain zones the pieces come off. But
So
I
that
think it's be
quantum
very
material
safe.
at the back, is that hard or is that soft? Is that a soft zone?
The butt is very soft and a little bit squishy. So I
Ooh.
would say probably blueberry flavored. I don't know.
Very nice. So then you destroy it. Is this a one man thing? Is it a multiple player? But then, so two questions. That's the first question, and then when it's destroyed, then what happens then? Is anything
So
left?
are you saying will you fight multiples of these or one?
Well, if I was to attack this, would I attack it on my own? Is it quite an easy boss? Is it?
Depends on what you have. This one's, I think, in more of the medium category. You will
Ooh.
see things that are much larger than this as well, and you also see things that are smaller. So when you have waves of enemies that's coming out of a rift that's open somewhere, in Solus, you'll have kind of your knee biters that come at you, things with melee damage that are very, very annoying, but they're weaker. You can take them out more quickly. Then you got things like these walking around kind of like midfield that are really giving you some trouble. And then you'll have some larger sort of walkers and things that come in that have, very heavy armor, heavy damage that multiple players need to get on to take down.
Very
So,
nice.
and it's not just these guys. So everything here is kind of gamified. You have to know how to fight what you're fighting, the individual beast that's coming out of there. You also are fighting multiples at a time. At the same time, you're actually fighting the rift itself, because these things are going to keep coming unless you shut down the rift. And there will be parts of the rift, and these aren't official terms, but you have anchor stones and time stones, things like that are part of the rift structure that keep it gripped onto this reality that you need to kind of play a mini game with combat to actually destroy at the same time while these guys are trying to kill you.
So when these rifts appear, if you don't get to them quick enough, when you turn up, is there going to be like an army waiting for you?
Well, I mean, we do have performance limitations, so things will have to spawn up to a certain amount. So I'm not going to get too deeply into the stipulations of what happens when rifts are left unchecked, but there's some planning going into that. It may start corrupting the land itself at a much larger scale, and even destroying the entirety of the environment. So you want to keep rifts under control. You don't want them to. You don't want to let them go unchecked.
Really cool and interesting especially during testing, to see how many times I can hit this with a meat grinder before it explodes.
Meat
And that
grinder would probably be a pretty good option on something like this.
Is this one of the
hard armor?
One of the cutouts that we're shooting in the shooting range? This is one of them, is it?
Yeah, it's one of the cutouts. Yeah,
thought so.
The cutouts are made from some of the original concept art. So,
ooh,
okay, there
you go.
That's an exciting leak, and there's going to be different types of these machines coming out.
Lots of different types, and you're not just. I'm trying to say things without like giving away too much. You're not just fighting against the different machines. You're fighting against who's changing and designing the machines. So, and those things will progress over time. They will adapt to player behaviors, things like that. Ooh. So it's definitely a lot of exciting things coming up in the future, and to sort of watch this evolve. So
yeah,
some people are thinking Architect 13. No, you're absolutely wrong. So throw that out there. So.
You're absolutely wrong. All right.
More than one enemy. Very interesting.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Huge. All right. Very exciting stuff. Thank you for the leak. Thanks for joining COPICafe, as always, episode 125.
Yep.
And I know we all have a lot to do. I've got a full remainder of the day. So we will see you all on the next episode. Have a great week.
Bye-bye.
Don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. I'm in a game.